Hello, folks. Hope everybody's doing good. Today we're going to do something a little different. I want to tell you a story about Susanna, which is not in the New King James Version. It was in the original King James Version in 1611, but then when they did the new revised edition, for some reason, at least 14 books were cut out, not canonized. So I've had study Bibles left and right. I got an Apocrypha over here. It's what they call the books that were left out. And I always did like the story of Susanna, so I thought I'd go over that today. There was a wealthy man in Babylon named Jehoiakim, and he married a beautiful wife whose name was Susanna. They were both righteous and Christians, and her parents were as well. And being wealthy, Jehoiakim had a big garden by his home. And by garden, I don't mean corn and green beans. I mean probably a botanical garden, kind of like the Dallas Arboretum or whatever it's called. Beautiful flowers and anyway. So a lot of the Jewish people, the local Jews, like to come there and hang out and walk around and visit. And these two elders just got appointed judges, and they were one of the regulars walking around the garden. And Susanna would also walk around the garden pretty much every day. So these two guys saw Susanna all the time, and they both were secretly smitten with her. I wouldn't say love, probably lust, and they didn't want to tell each other because they were embarrassed. They knew it was wrong because she was married. But anyway, one day they left, and then they both came back to try to sneak a peek at her, and they ran into each other, and they finally confessed to each other. We're both in the same boat. She's beautiful. So they set up a plan to hide in the bushes and just observe her in the garden. And of course, I don't know if they knew it was bath day or not, but Susanna came out in the garden with her maids to draw a bath, and she sent her maids away to get her some olive oil and soap, I think, something like that. And so they left and shut the doors, and Susanna's out in the garden by herself, or so she thought. These guys popped out of nowhere and started drooling over her and told Susanna how bad they really wanted to be with her. And if you don't let us be with you, we're going to tell everybody in town that we caught you having an affair with a young man out here in the garden. And so Susanna thought about it for a minute, and she thought, boy, I'm in a pickle here. I'll get in trouble either way, so I'm going to do the honest thing and scream like a lady and scare them off. And of course, they took off running, and the maids came running out to see what was going on. And, Susanna explained to them what had happened. And, of course, the two elders went in town and told all the people that they caught Susanna and some young man having an affair out in the gardens. And so, they called her in for a hearing or court proceeding or whatever you call it back in those days. And the two elders stood up and told their story of how they caught her in the act. And they couldn't catch the young man because he was too strong and fast, and these guys were older, and so they didn't know who he was for sure. And the people, since these guys were elders, they were highly respected in the community, so they agreed with him, and they're like, okay, put her to death. And all of a sudden, this guy named Daniel popped up, and I don't know if it's the same Daniel as the other book, Daniel. I don't know. Probably not. Anyway, he stood up and he said, we haven't even heard the woman's side of the story. You're going to go just by their side. That's not how court works. So they finally allowed him to question Susanna, and she said, "No, sir, these guys are both lying. I never had an affair with anybody. They tried to have an affair with me, and I rejected them, and that's why we're all here right now." So Daniel says, "Separate these two men, put one in another room over here, and put this guy out here, and I'm going to question him." And so, he says, "You guys are lying. I know you're lying. Susanna's a good, righteous Christian woman. She wouldn't do that. So tell me, under what tree did you see Susanna having an affair in the garden?" And the first one said, "It was under that sycamore tree out there." And so they said, "Okay, off with him, bring me the other one." And he did the same thing. He asked that guy, "You're a liar. Tell me what tree did you witness this affair under?" And he said it was under a big live oak. And so Daniel said, "Hang them both." The moral of the story is, no matter what kind of pickle you find yourself in, always fall back on the truth and the Word of God. You'll never go wrong. Thanks for listening to me, folks. Please share, subscribe, and like the video, and I'll see you next week.